here's what's going to happen. You're going, if you're intentional, you're going to begin to break the idolatry of the life that you live, and things that really matter are going to begin to look different. Because you're giving God time to speak to you. And that's the very first step in creating margin in your life. So, we're going to stick on this margin thing for like 3 more weeks. Here's where it's going to go. Next week, we're going to talk about scheduling margin. So, you know, all of you that put your schedules on your phone and there's not enough room to type it all in, whatever. We're going to talk about how to say no to your schedule so that you can have margin in your life. That's how important getting this is. The next week, financial margin. Financial margin. The week after that, we're going to talk about moral margin. I'm saving the best one for last because so many of us, we creep up to that line and there's no buffer. We don't put any safeguards in place, and then all of a sudden we jump over. So we're going to talk about what that margin looks like on the moral side. So, can everybody do 5 minutes a day for 7 days? Can you try? Because I'm going to call you out next week. I'm going to call you out. I'm going to say, Stephen, what's your 5 minutes look like? I'm going to say, Diablo, what's your 5 minutes look like? I'm going to say, Channing, what's your 5 minutes look like? Melissa, what's your 5? Dusty, what's your 5? What did your 5 minutes look like? And be honest, if you didn't do it, just say, hey, I didn't do it. I didn't have time. I didn't find busy. But I'm telling you, that margin in your life, you have to find it. Because we'll do this, and 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 then all of a sudden, we'll just become too busy to come to church. And then why do we do what we do? Because really, it's not, sometimes people think it is, but it's not. The hardest thing isn't coming in and listening. The hardest thing is putting it into practice when we leave. And how many of us really do that? How many of us really do that? If I were to say, hey, last week we talked about letting the white knuckles go and giving some stuff that is hindering you down to God. If I were to say, who all did it? Who would raise your hand? God has a plan for your life more than you can imagine. Do not just be pew sitters. Test Him. Test Him and see. Let me close with this, and then we will get out of here, and I'm not singing out. So we're just going to have to pray at length. So we're going to go to Isaiah. Isaiah 58. Isaiah 58, verse 11. Oh, yeah. Isaiah is a good book. Good book. Isn't that right, Jordan? Where's Jordan at? Isaiah 61:3. Good stuff. Isaiah 58:11. We're going to close this way. It says, the Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land. He will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. If you allow yourself to have margin in your life, the Lord will always guide you. He will satisfy your needs. In a sun-scorched land, He will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Fruitful. Yeah. Okay. Thoughts or questions before we break out of this heat?